have on stage our speaker, Mr. Greejesh Singh, founder and CEO, Resonacle, who would be presenting a talk on the topic Pharma Talent 2024, New Normals in Recruitment Trend. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together from Mr. Greejesh Singh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all have had lunch. So I'm representing an industry which is the most interesting one, and this is linked to everyone. It's a pharmaceutical industry, and I'm Greejesh Singh from Resonacle, and we work with more than 150 pharmaceutical and chemical companies globally for their hiring solutions. Before going into detail, I just would like to ask few questions, and then I would go in detail about the pharma industry. But be genuine to your answer. How many of you would like to stay healthy? Almost all. How many of you are actually putting efforts on daily basis in your routine to make yourself healthy? That's the gap. And from where pharmaceutical industry starts. So, as many of you would be knowing, we are known as the pharmacy of the world. In India is known as the pharmacy of the world. And India pharmaceutical industry, this is a global leader in genetic and vaccines driving healthcare innovations. In the time of Corona periods, you would have seen how lots of talk have been done about India across the world, and how this industry is growing every year. Just for a curiosity, have you ever thought you would not find even a single family in India, I mean, situations may be different for some special cases, where one or two family members are not taking medicines? Do you agree with that? Every family, few members are taking medicines. Every year, all the therapeutic areas in pharmaceuticals are growing like anything. Number of patients diabetic, cancer, you will surprised to know, the day is not so far. 5-6 years down the line, I'm saying, dealing with these pharma companies, what we have realized. 5 to 6 years down the line, you will find cancer patients in each and every family. The way this is going on. Most of the pharmaceutical companies are preparing to launch oncology in India in collaboration with China, all the instruments, whatever the things are like that, and India is going to be center of cancer. We deal with those pharmaceutical industry to provide manpower from junior level to top level and known for CXO, and we are enjoying leadership in pharma industries for the hiring solution. Now I'll tell you a brief about the pharma so that you understand how important this is. This is some of the points which I'm going to discuss. Key focus is going to be these areas, and we will discuss about all these points in next 20 minutes. Just have a look about Indian pharma industry, how it is like that, and you will realize about the fact. It is expected to reach $65 billion by 2025. And see the figure next. Projected to reach $130 billion USD by 2030. In next 5 years, it is going to be double. It means a lot. It's not only revenue is going to be double. It means patients are going to be double. Healthcare is directly affected. I do not know this is the right stage to say or not, but there is a conspiracy to make people patient. You go to the doctor, only those people who are not going to doctor, they are not patient. You go to the doctor, you'll come to know about number of things, what's happening and how it is like that. This is a fact. 20% of global exports in generic drugs, it is made by India. India ranks 3rd worldwide in pharmaceutical production by volume across. We do export of bulk actives and dosage form, and India ranks 17th globally in export value. In pharmaceutical industry, those who are not aware with that, the most important thing in pharma industry is to have US FDA approval of your plant. If your plant is US FDA approved, the value will increase by X, 2X, 3X kind of thing. Outside US, the highest number of US FDA approved plants are there in India only. And pharmaceutical industry is among top 10 attractive sectors for foreign investments in India. And the second is like biosimilar market is estimated to be around $12 billion by 2025. You can find here one more data. India exports drugs worth $28 billion to over 150 countries, including highly regulated market, US, Europe, Japan, Australia. You will be surprised to know when US gives US FDA approval to Indian pharmaceutical company to supply drugs to US, why they don't keep these plants at their country only? Because they actually care the healthcare about their citizen. Any chemicals which is going to your body is dangerous. Either you intake it or air by whatever the way. We are center for that, where these things are there. Indian pharma industry, I'll talk about the talent right now, how it is like that. So approximately, there are 2.7 million people who have been employed in Indian pharmaceutical industries. The major areas, R&D, manufacturing, and the functional roles. When we talk about R&D, don't be misguided that we actually do research. In Indian pharmaceutical industries, the major focus is on the generic drugs. We just copy. And to copy the exact drugs, we have R&D centers, and hardly 2% or 3% of the Indian pharmaceutical companies, they actually put efforts for research and development for the new drugs, new innovation. This is the reality. What exactly do the drugs which are going to be off patent in the next 3 year, 4 year, 5 year down the line, we are in the race to make the generic version of that drug. And since we are participating in that race, who is going to make it first? There is a huge requirement of talent. And in Indian pharmaceutical industries, more than 50% of the experts believe there is a talent scarcity in India. Because depth knowledge people are not having. And the way the rapid digital transformation, technology, lots of things are changing, we are not finding talent for that particular thing. I would want you to go through, this is the survey report about life science and pharma. This has been recently done by Randstad with the top leaders in life science and pharma talent reports. See the first point. 71% of leaders say that HR is facing increased pressure to accomplish more with fewer resources. So whatever the resources people are resigning, you don't have time to complete the process within 2 months, 3 months. So whatever the resources are there, there is a huge pressure on that. More than 40% I'm talking about. And because of that, most people resign and they look for the next job. Next. 85% of respondents say that organizations are prioritizing skill-based transformation. That's the most important thing. Earlier, I'm in the pharmaceutical industry since last more than 15 to 16 years. We have seen for one department, there used to be one head, and downside you'll find people at assistant manager, manager, senior manager, that kind of thing, number of, it's a flat kind of structure. Now you will see FDA is so strict that for each section in the pharmaceutical department, companies are keeping vice president, GM, senior GM, who used to be the overall head. 79% agree that the skills gap continues to widen and is expected to pose a greater challenge in the near future. As I told you, you can remember the data from $65 billion, we will be reaching next 5 years, $130 billion. So how much manpower and how much things will require to do that? More than 50% agree that there is a talent scarcity in the industry, and 83% report that the rise in automation is increasing a greater demand for highly skilled roles. I would not like to talk much about that, but I have seen working with more than 150 pharmaceutical and chemical companies, they have actually implemented the system, brought the technology, implemented the softwares, but go at ground, find it out, how many are actually using this. End users are not actually utilizing that, and it is on the superficial way. Next, the biggest challenge in the pharmaceutical industry, retaining talent in niche segments is the biggest challenge for the industries. We all are HR people, most of you. You know that we always try to retain people, but humans are something you cannot judge with any AI, with any machines, or any engineering systems. It's emotions. And only human being can understand about that. Most of the HR actually do the exit interview. But think, do you actually do to know the real reason or just to do the documentation? Since we are working for the pharma industries, people talk the reality about the organizations, and we know about that, what are the processes and how it is being done. These are the 3 biggest trends affecting talent leaders, which has come out of the survey done on more than 5,000 people in the life science and pharmaceutical industries. First point you can say, technology places talent acquisition at the heart of talent strategy. So even you like or you don't like, technology is gradually, slowly taking the space, and if you are not aligned with the technology, then it will be difficult for the organization to be the part of the race. Second most important thing, inherent core skills and motivations have emerged as essential criteria. Normally, when in the talent acquisitions you look for any job or when you go for interview, interviewer takes your interview based upon what exactly currently they are looking for. Our recent company, what exactly you have done. So based upon that, interview is normally done. They ask questions, and if you are aligned with that, you are selected or rejected, whatever the reason. But now one trend which is in normal now, your core strengths, core skills cannot be compromised, like problem-solving skills, adaptability, your ability to grow in the systems in spite of hardship, your communication skills, your leadership skills, your team building skills. These are the core which cannot be ignored. And if anywhere this has been ignored, it has been proved the wrong hiring. And third most important point, the productivity battle is won through human potential. Whatever we talk about, technology, AI, machines, anything, we should never forget. I have seen most of the organizations who got technically strong, they started forgetting the core, the center of the business. The center of the business in any industry is not your machines, not your engineering, not the technology. It's your human capital. And if they have been ignored, it is difficult for the organizations. We have seen organizations who parted away. 10 years down the lines, one organization is around 10,000 crore, second organization is around 1,000 to 2,000 crore, is still struggling because the focus was not on human. And if focus is not on human beings, not in your human capital, you may do good in the short term, but long term, it is really difficult. These are the 6 to 7 points which we have seen. So those who are from the pharma industries may able to understand. Those who are not, I'll try to. There is an increased demand for specialized skills, injectables. So in pharmaceutical industry, there are different dosage forms, solid orals like tablet, capsule, injections, and liquids. Why I have mentioned about this injectables, take an example in layman way. If you have taken one solid oral tablet, and suppose this is a poison, there is a still chance you would be saved because it will dissolve in a over period of time, 1 hour, 2 hours, something. When it will actually get dissolved in your blood, might be possible you go to doctor and you'll be saved. But once you are injected any injections which is poison, no one can save you. Within a minute or 2 minutes, gone. So this is the most important thing, injectable in the pharmaceutical industry, especially for regulated market where industry is suffering to hire right talent. Because there you cannot compromise. A small mistake can take the life of thousands of people. Like maybe in the news you would have seen some medicine supplied from India to Uzbekistan and some African country, and more than 70 to 80 children, they died because it was a human mistake. So this is such an industry where I personally believe if you want to make money, you should not be in the pharma. If this is an industry where if you actually want to serve the human life, where you can do that and you don't have any right to play with human. Second point, so injectable is one, regulatory affairs, biosimilars, oncology focused. As I told you, India is going to be the center for cancers in the coming 5 to 6 years. Most of the pharmaceutical companies are putting focus on oncology, setting up their departments, setting up their manpower to deal with that. And number of people will be required into this particular field. But right now, in oncology field, it's a very limited manpower is there in India. Biosimilars, digitalization, ITQA. ITQA, I'll tell you about this, is something, one area in pharmaceutical industries, microbiology has been the weak area because you do lots of things manually. If you do things manually, there is a chance to make mistake. So there is something, one word where pharma people are very much aware, data integrity. Data integrity is something, most of the pharmaceutical company in India, they have suffered because of that, their USFDA audits have been failed. So there are two types of data integrity. One is intentional, and second is that it's not non-intentional and you have done it. Intentional means where you know your batch is going to be failed, but still you are trying to say, okay, I'll not send this to regulated market, but why can't we send to the nearby any other country? And sometimes it is done. And people suffer. Think why all the hospitals are filled. Everywhere you see that. Why people are converting into this, I'm talking about the patient. Why all the therapeutic areas are increasing? Why every year number of patients in each therapeutic area is growing like anything? Even the hospital industry is going to be, you will not believe, near about $100 billion in coming times in India. Technology integration, I talked about it. Next one is like flexible work modules, adapting to hybrid remote work environments and offering flexibility to attract top talent. Flexible work environment, hybrid model, working from home. This has been a trend in the IT industries, but now, I'll tell you with the most surprise, even production people who are working in production, sometimes they also want to have work from home. How do you do that? because it's the kind of a trend. If they can do, we also need to do that. But somewhere, we cannot accommodate that. And their pharmaceutical industry is facing lots of problems. Talent development. Focus on training and upskilling within pharma organization to fill gaps. I'll tell you about that. You are searching talent outside. But most of the times, we don't realize that talent you are having in your own organization. They are going and leading in the other company, but in your company, you are not having that valued. Why can't we look for them? Why can't we do focus and get it done? So these are the things. In pharmaceutical industries, they are not doing because they want to do that, because they are forced to do that. Outside, there is no talent in a particular area where you want, so you need to focus on that. And in pharmaceutical industry, there are lots of changing of technology. I'm talking about machines. In analytical development, in R&D, new machines are coming and people don't know how to operate it. So you need people, you need to train your own people to get it done. Last point is the most important one, employer branding. Strengthening the company's reputations as an employer of choice in competitive pharma market. I have seen if you are in talent acquisitions, your role should not be only as a talent acquisition. One word should be added in your designation, talent acquisitions and employer branding. Because this is the time of social media. If you need to brand your company, you need to talk good things, you need to actually do good things in the organization so people talk good about it. Pharma industry is a $65 billion. Most of the people at the senior level or middle level, they know each other. They know what's happening in the industries, what is going on. So it is not like just for the sake of showing you are good, you are saying that. You need to actually implement the system, and need to do that. Talent instability in the pharma sector. You would have seen that most of the times. I'll tell you about that. She's saying the time is going on. I'll take 5-6 minutes more just to summarize. Have you seen that I'm talking with the pharmaceutical industries, talent instability. Organizations don't want to have unstable people, but how it is going to happen? Most of the pharma companies have their notice period of 3 months. They want to relieve their own people in 3 months and want to hire from the next company in 1 month or in 15 days. Do you agree with that? So we are creating the problem. Why we need to give 3-month notice period? When you are keeping 3-month notice period, they are going in the market, talking to number of companies, and God knows where they are going to join. It was a trend of IT, now it's happening in the pharmaceutical also. The first point what I urge like that, notice period should be 1 month, max to max, like in US, Europe, you will find this is a kind of thing. These are the points. And face-to-face interview is one of the challenges in the pharmaceutical industries, because now people are habituated to always go with this online interview, Google Meet, virtual and all those kind of things. They are not ready to go for face-to-face. Most of the times we are rejecting candidates because they don't want to go that. And what is the problems by this? If you are having online interview, less than 50% chance will be there the candidate will join, because they are in their comfort zone. They can give interview to any company, ABC, XYZ, doesn't matter what is the thing. Talent shortage, I have already spoken. Strategy to attract talent, I'll not talk much. I'll only say, create such an environment in your organization that people don't feel to go out. How you are creating, how you are doing, it's up to you. And it should not be on the sake of just saying it. It should actually be done. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Mr. Greejesh Singh for that very engaging presentation. May I please have on stage Ms. Anuja Singh, Chief People Officer, Ninja Card. Let's applaud for Ms. Anuja Singh.